it's gonna make me emotional, but sometimes you have days where it's just like, you feel alone. Alright, hey guys, long time no see. Today I would love to talk about moving to a new city. Oftentimes we find ourselves having to move for our work. Sometimes it's temporary, sometimes it's more long-term, but either way we're finding ourselves moving. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about my journey with moving. When I joined The Lion King, I actually had a castmate within the first couple of months suggest to me about getting a financial advisor. Now prior to that, the only thing that I had in regards to savings was a savings account through my bank. It was my first big contract, the biggest contract that you can get in theater, and I was making more money than I ever had, and it only made sense to find someone, now that I could afford it, to really help me make a bigger, broader plan. And I got a wonderful woman that was suggested to me who works in Atlanta with Ameriprise Financial. If you guys want her name, I can definitely share that with you, just let me know. I've been working with her ever since, so a little over 2 years now, and she has been phenomenal. We have gotten so many things together. I saved so much money over the course of my 2 years and 2 months on Lion King and beyond. When I went in, I told her, like, hey, here's the thing. My life as an actor, as an artist, is just kind of all over the place. I just need to know that I'm putting aside as much money as I possibly can so that if anything big comes up, a big move or whatever, that I have the financial ability to do that. Or if there isn't any work coming, I want to be putting away enough so that when the tide is a little bit lower and I have 3 months of little to no work as an artist, because that's just what happens, that I can be confident in that I will be okay. She's been very integral in making that happen. So that was something that I did that I definitely suggest to anyone. Getting a financial plan in place is really, really great. Fast forwarding now to the decision to move to New York. Eventually I ended up booking Waitress on Broadway. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on Broadway, like, it's crazy. So here are the things that were helpful for me when it came to moving to New York. First of all, my circle of friends. I'm definitely a person, I have a superwoman complex, and I like to do everything by myself if I can. And I don't like asking for help. It makes me feel like I'm weak, or most importantly, I think that I'm afraid of getting a no. But immediately upon knowing that I needed to go to New York, and I had about 10 days before I needed to be in New York, I realized I'm gonna have to get over that, and I'm gonna have to get over that real fast, because I need my friends and I need to go ahead and reach out to them. There's no reason why I shouldn't. I have 2 wonderful friends who are a couple who allow me to stay at their place in their extra bedroom. They had just moved to New York like about a couple of months before I did, but they have an extra bedroom, and I stayed with them for the first 6 or 7 weeks I was there, which included all of my rehearsal time and then some, and it made a world of difference to be able to come home to a place that was comfortable and warm and loving with people that I loved and already knew. It just made that transition to New York so much better for me. Also, I reached out to friends when it came to finding a place. I was very blessed and fortunate in that one of my former colleagues from SMU, her roommates were about to move out, and so within the first 2 months of me being here, a room would be opening up in her apartment, and beautiful renovated apartment with a washer and a dryer in the unit, which doesn't always happen in New York, in a wonderful neighborhood and right off of an express line, just everything that I could have ever asked for. And she was like, it's yours if you want it. And here I am in my wonderful New York bedroom in my New York apartment that I absolutely love. And beyond that, I also have friends in the city with whom I've met up for coffee or tea or meals, or people that I've met up with just so that I can decompress and just kind of have a life outside of my work. Have a group of friends, find your group of friends, reach out to them, ask them questions. They can show you around the city, they can help you find places to live, they can give you insight to auditions or maybe other things, classes, or any sort of other outlets that you might need as an artist. So don't be afraid to call your friends and ask them for help. My second thing is kind of like when you're moving a child to a new school. Sometimes establishing as much normalcy in the transition, you know, certain things that you had in the place before that you can bring to the new place so that they can still have a sense of, oh, my life hasn't changed that much. There's a lot of things still here that I did in the other place, and so it's not that different. For my part, that would be finding dance classes, finding yoga studios, and all of these things that I did in other cities that I've lived in that have become kind of a staple to my way of life. Even finding like running trails nearby, finding the gym that I like, all of those things. Making sure that you find those things and put them in place really, really fast. So before I came to New York, I basically just kind of went to Google Maps and put myself in New York, and then found nearby yoga studios, whether it was near my home or near my work or on the way to work. I asked friends about voice coaches. I started looking into various classes that I was interested in for acting. Just do a search. So now logistics. Okay, so I moved into this apartment and IKEA came to the rescue. I purchased all of my furniture from IKEA, and stubborn old me decided to put it all together. This is my bed, my dresser, my side table, and half dresser. I put it all together on my own because I just wanted to do it on my own. It just made me feel super accomplished. And also sometimes in a place where you feel like a lot of things are so much out of your control, especially just the work that I do. So many things are out of my control. It was nice to feel like I had a hand in something and it was all me. It was all controlled by me. So that was just a Tiffany thing. Amazon came to the rescue when it came to, you know, like I bought my sheets off of Amazon, I bought picture frames off of Amazon, I bought my curtains, my curtain rods off of Amazon. I've got a lot of things off of Amazon. Wayfair is another place that my mother recommended to me. What else is there? I say all of these things and it kind of makes it sound like the transition was so great and it was so wonderful, and I definitely do not knock the fact that my transition was beautiful and it was a lot easier than it could have gone. It still was stressful, it still was hard, and it was a lot of work, and I miss my family, I miss my loved ones, and I have FOMO a lot. I specifically remember one morning, well, it was morning because it was probably like 1 a.m. and I was in my bed kind of coming off of a rehearsal day, another long rehearsal day, and I was about to go to sleep. And I remember very distinctly, I had my eyes closed and then I opened my eyes and looking into the darkness in my room. And I remember just having a moment of panic. And I remember thinking, oh my God, what did I just do? I just came to New York. I left everything that I had in Atlanta, and things were going well in Atlanta. I'm super far from my family. I don't know when I'm going to be able to see them again, and I'm so far from my loved ones, and I'm missing them. I feel homesick, and this is hard, and all of these things. And I just remember thinking, did I just make the biggest mistake of my life? It was a scary moment for me. I started crying, just thinking like, oh my God, I'm so crazy. Why did I do this? I'm such a will-o'-the-wisp. Why? And I kind of sat in that for a few minutes, and then eventually I just said, okay, first of all, you need to get it together because we don't have time for this. Second of all, you're here now. So let's try to find the positive in it. And the positive is I've always wanted to do Broadway, and here I am, I'm doing it. And so I realized that very, very quickly. Secondly, I thought that comes with sacrifice sometimes, and a lot of times it's just for a moment in time, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to be difficult, and it's okay to feel sad, but you didn't make the biggest mistake of your life. And it took a while for me to kind of get over that hump, but I did. And this kind of brings me to something that I think is probably the most important thing that I've done for myself when it comes to these big transitions, and probably the thing I should have said at the beginning of this video, but therapy. I have a therapist. I started seeing my therapist about this time last year. I decided coming out of Lion King and coming out of a really big, emotionally draining and hard year for me personally in a lot of ways, that having a therapist would be something that was going to be beneficial for me. I also knew that I was probably going to have a lot of transitions career-wise coming up. I just kind of felt them coming, and I just said to myself, I want to make sure that I'm the best me possible. And right now I can kind of feel that angst and that feeling of things are kind of getting out of control and I don't know what to do, and I just want to make sure that I am well and that I take care of myself and that I'm in the best position that I can possibly be in when it comes to these big things that are going to come for me. I think the best thing about the therapy is that while I recognize when things are kind of off, I recognize I'm in a dark place and that I need to get out of it, the thing about it is that I don't always know how, even though sometimes I like to think that I do. And the best part about working with her is that she's been able to give me tools that I didn't even know that I had access to in order to work through the issues that I've had. And that's why I just think that I'm probably going to continue work like this throughout the rest of my life, because as I get older, it's just going to be more and more stuff. This life that I live is great and it's beautiful. It's also very, very hard and it's scary, and I don't claim to be a person that's going through the most hardship that I could ever go through, but I do have my own story of hardship, and sometimes you just need to employ help in order to get through them. So those are pretty much all the things about my move. I have to say that I have been very, very fortunate in my transition here, and everything kind of worked out for me in a beautiful way, in a way that I could have never imagined, but mostly because I planned for this. I've also worked really hard for this. I have a lot of great people in my corner who have been very helpful and integral in my transition, and honestly, without them, none of this would be possible. So a lot of this is just kind of flying by the seat of my own pants, being a big girl and trying to figure it all out on my own, but it's all worked out. Moving to a new city can be very, very stressful. It can be frightening, and sometimes you have days, it's gonna make me emotional, but sometimes you have days where it's just like you feel alone and you feel like, you know, you just feel like things are just not working the way you want them to, or you want more, and is this worth it? You know, I know why I came here, but is this really, really worth it? And I just want to let you know that it is. You just have to just keep your eye on the prize, stay focused, open up to people, find the help that you need, and find the support that you need. Believe. If you're a praying person, pray, write, do all the things that you need to do to just kind of keep yourself level. I think that one of the biggest things that we can do for ourselves in this career that we're in is not only just striving for the goals career-wise that we want, but also making sure that we're attending to the self-care that we need. And sometimes that means therapy, sometimes that means yoga, sometimes that means going for a brisk run along the river, sometimes that means calling your mom and dad, sometimes that means going out with friends, sometimes that means having a day where you just don't do anything, you sit in your bed and you read a book. Whatever that means for you, just take care. So I hope this is helpful to anyone. Feel free to reach out. If you've made a big move in your life, I would love to know, you know, something that maybe I haven't mentioned in my video that you think is very important for other artists to know. Please feel free to comment and let us all know. So until next time, I hope everything's going well in your career and in your life, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao. I'm like, New York apartments get so hot.